Right now at 5, investigators release why a Fort Scott church caught on fire. Plus, we're tracking showers and thunderstorms across the area. We'll tell you how long they're going to stick around and what the weekend has to hold. And a fatal crash in Crawford County claims the life of one person.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning. Welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now officially 5 a.m. on a finally Friday in the 4 states. And of course, second week of Friday night football action. And tonight is the launch of the Fox 14 Press Box, the only local sports show. And it starts at 11 o'clock tonight over on Fox 14. Of course, Jacob Leonard, Danny Terzer, and our entire sports team will have the latest football highlights on 4 State Friday night at 10 tonight. So, here's the deal, though. Are they going to have to contend with any rain showers when football gets going? Now, if football was playing right now, be a little crazy, a little awkward, but they would have some rain showers to contend with, as you can see on the Skywatch storm tracker. Now we're watching additional development across northeast Oklahoma. Now the good news is we're not anticipating any severe weather with this. There may be a strong storm or two out there, but otherwise it should be all right. Now yesterday evening we had one lone severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Montgomery and Lebec County, and that left us with this, a couple of wind damage reports in Coffeyville with winds around 60 miles an hour, slightly greater. So don't get me wrong, some storms on occasion can get a little on the strong side. Now this is, I did not get that updated, so I'll get that updated later. Right now it's 7th and Rangeline. We'll tell you about the football forecast. It is mostly cloudy, 70 degrees. The nice southeast wind, and as we look across the area, we got 67 Iola, 70 in Columbus, 70 in Neosho. The rain and cloud cover keeping us right where we need to be. And as the kids get on the bus, if you're in those rain shower areas, absolutely need an umbrella. 62 at 7 a.m. And unfortunately, it's likely still going to be some scattered storms by 3 o'clock, 90 degrees. That is not accurate. My apologies. We've got something exciting happening this month and got a little sidetracked, but this is right. We're looking at a high of 79. Scattered storms, they should start to dissipate later this evening, leaving us with mostly cloudy skies and mostly cloudy skies overnight as well, with an overnight low of 64 degrees. We're going to talk more about the forecast, what the weekend has to hold, whether or not it's going to rain, and take a look at the 7-day just for fun here in a few minutes.
And it's starting to rain buckets outside right now.
I see it was sprinkling on my way up here, but at the same time, the Skywatch Storm Tracker shows some heavy rain. So we're going to tell you all about it, keep you ahead of any storms, and I'll tell you more about how long they'll be here.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a fatal crash claims the life of a Pittsburgh man. Authorities say 21-year-old Caden Anderson was traveling south on 200th Street near Atkinson Municipal Airport when his vehicle left the road, struck a culvert, and overturned. He died at the scene. Investigators think they now know the cause and the cost of the fire that swept through the Mary Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Fort Scott this week. Investigators say the fire was sparked by a lightning strike Monday night. Crews from several surrounding departments battled the flames through the early Tuesday morning hours. The historic church was built in 1870. Early estimates show roughly $4 million in damages. And even with the roof a complete loss, the congregation plans to rebuild. Well, sports betting officially became legal in Kansas on Thursday. 6 sports betting sites are now active in the state, including popular sports books, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Retail sports books at Hollywood Casino in Kansas City and Kansas City Star Casino near Wichita are also open now. An official launch for sports betting is set for next Thursday. The city of Pittsburgh is in the process of building new housing. New jobs in southeast Kansas could mean a continuing increased population over the next few years. The city plans to build 1,500 houses in town. Officials say it's not uncommon that people who work in Pittsburgh actually live elsewhere because of a lack of housing.
Pittsburgh did a study, and one of the things they found is a lot of people that work here live in Joplin because there's just not enough housing here. So what we want is the Joplin people to come back where they're living and working and enjoy life here in Pittsburgh.
According to the city manager, the current plan has about 450 houses that have been either platted or planned. Well, new Pitt State University President Dan Shipp is settling into his first fall semester in the role. Shipp comes to PSU from the University of Nebraska's Medical Center. He says he likes how much the community is behind the university.
are how much spirit there is for Guerrilla Nation. You know, again, that's one of those things that we talk a lot about, and does it actually exist in the way that there's that much spirit both on campus and in the community? I mean, you can't drive around anywhere in the community, right, without seeing a gorilla.
Shipp is the university's 10th president. He was appointed to the role back in June. This month launches the Are You Safe campaign at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College. NEO and the Community Crisis Center in Miami joining together to help victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and stalking. This will now allow people to speak confidentially with an advocate on campus, chat online, or call their 24-hour hotline.
This is important because it is immediately getting people connected to our services instead of having them wait to come to us.
If you are interested in becoming an advocate or needing to reach out to one, you can go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Well, little learners in one McDonald County school are getting a different kind of treat when they hit the vending machine. Students of Knoll Primary School now have a choice of books in their new vending machine, thanks to a donation from the McDonald County School Foundation. Students with good behavior will earn a gold coin, which can be used to purchase a book from the machine. The school librarian says this shows kids that the little things matter.
Our kids don't always get to recognize that even the small things that they do, the small growth that they make is important and that it matters. And so getting the opportunity to show them that, and that in doing that and showing them that the small things matter, the small growths matter, also getting to give them books that they can keep at home to grow their libraries at home.
Granger says she's excited to see the machine enhance children's learning experience.
All right, showers and thunderstorms. How long are they going to hang out? Well, this is how long. This is noon today. Showers and thunderstorms still hanging out. This is 5 o'clock today. What's that? It's unfortunately showers and thunderstorms. But the good news is they look to clear out just in time for kickoff tonight for Friday Night Football. And the other good news is we are looking at a pretty decent weekend. We'll be mostly cloudy, but temperatures are not bad even as we head into Monday. Now, there's an isolated storm chance or two on Monday, but otherwise, temperatures aren't bad. They're a little toasty, but it's looking like a pretty decent Labor Day weekend. And any storms we see Monday should be pretty late in the day.
All right. Well, at least we get a little break from the rain over the weekend.
Yeah. Now we're at that point where we don't mind the break from the rain as long as we're still getting some to help with the drought situation, which still needs help, believe it or not.
Yes.
It does still need some help, but this rain definitely making a difference.
All right. Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Pitt State is off to a hot start this season. We'll explain why.
Plus, America is facing a teacher shortage crisis, and the White House decided to step in and help.
And how being religious is tied to heart health. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, last night was a big night of football at Southeast Kansas and Southwest Missouri. We had both local high school and college action. Starting in Pittsburgh, it's game one of the season for the Gorillas. Pitt State welcomes in Central Missouri. Bryce Murphy, great night. Late first quarter, Chad Dodson finds Murphy. 33-yard gain for the Neosho High School product. In the second quarter, PSU trailing 3-0. But Dodson goes back to Murphy. He hauls in the 27-yard touchdown. Gorillas have their first lead at 7-3. Later in the second, Mules have fourth down in PSU territory. A Webb City kid, Alex Gaskill, makes the play for the fourth down stop. The Gorilla offense would capitalize. Dodson to guess who? Talking 53 yards here to Bryce Murphy. Murphy, 112 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Pitt State goes up to break up at 14-3. Their defense really good all night. Look at this. Dubin Okinawu blasts the quarterback. Ball out. Mules recover, but the Gorillas held them down most of the night. Pitt State wins their season opener 21-10. Missouri Southern Lions also at home for their season opener. Southern has a tough one to open their schedule, hosting the 14th ranked Nebraska Kearney Lopers. The Lions trying to get the offense going a little bit after getting shut out in this matchup last season. UNK inside the 10. Jackson Montrez runs it in for the score, 7-0 Lopers. Later's UNK pinned deep in their end. Dylan Bolden picks off TJ Davis. Huge play. Wilds will take over with great field position, and they make the most of it. Dawson Hurl keeps and takes it in for the touchdown. His first career rushing touchdown. Now we are tied. Lions defense holding things down. Coleman Booker, former East Newton Patriot, gets to Davis for the sack. And then with seconds left in the half, Southern comes up with a goal line stop. They were within 3, 10-7 at halftime, but the Lopers pull away in the second half to top Missouri Southern 24-7. At the high school level, last night was a big night for Carl Junction. The Bulldogs played their home opener last night, and it's a rivalry game hosting the Webb City Cardinals. CJ aims for a 2-0 start, while Webb City trying to bounce back from a loss to Nixon week 1. Starting out in the first, Carl Junction ball, but it gets loose. Webb City's Connor Gaiman is there for the recovery. Cards get the turnover just a few minutes in. Moments later, quarterback Landon Johnson keeps it for Webb City. Breaks a few tackles, gets loose. Johnson in for the score. Webb City goes up 6-0. Now to the second. Cardinals force another turnover. This time it's Grayson Smith with the interception. That's the third turnover of the night for Carl Junction. So Webb City ball, Dante Washington. You know he's a playmaker. Look at this run. Weaves in and out of defenders. Washington goes all the way in for the touchdown. This one, all Webb City all night. Cardinals roll by CJ 47-7. Finally, Major League Baseball, Kansas City Royals aim for the series win in the finale against the White Sox. The Royals, not a lot of offense. They fall 7-1. MJ Melendez had the lone RBI of the night for the Royals. Kansas City is right back on the field tonight on the road against the Tigers. Still to come, Fort Scott dedicates a night to the Civil War's first black nurse. Plus, we're going to take a look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. The theme for this morning, at least. We've got them to start our day out. The good news is it's going to start to clear out later today, and Labor Day weekend looking cloudy, but otherwise pretty calm. So here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker right now. As you can see, got showers and a few rumbles of thunder across the area. The good news is nothing severe, not even any strong storms this morning. We are watching development in northeast Oklahoma as this will slowly roll off to the northeast and bring additional shower and thunderstorm chances. And then last night, the lone severe thunderstorm we got, parts of Montgomery and Labette counties, 2 wind damage reports in Coffeyville with winds of about 60 miles an hour. So Friday night football, is it going to clear out in time? So here's the good news is we're looking at cloud interference, unfortunately, but at kickoff, 73, mostly cloudy. And at halftime, mostly cloudy as well. Maybe a lingering shower out there, but otherwise pretty calm. 7th and range line, the roads are damp this morning, and that is because, well, it's raining still. 70 degrees in Joplin right now under otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures, thanks to the clouds and the rain, are just kind of hovering right around 70 degrees. We had 68 Yates Center, 70 in Parsons, 70 Miami, Neosho, Welch. A lot of 70s on the board this morning, and we're not going to do a lot of warming up today. As kids get on the bus about 7 a.m., we're looking at 69 with those scattered showers and thunderstorms. When the bus turns around at 3 o'clock, a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms later today, 73 at 3 o'clock. So that's what I mean. We're really not going to warm up much. In fact, so we get through the day, 72 at noon, 79 by 5, and that's about as warm as it's going to get. And that depends also on how quickly some of these storms clear out. 74 by 8, and storms should be gone by then. 68, 65 by 2 a.m., overnight low of 64 degrees. Not bad otherwise. And as we head into the weekend, 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday, mostly cloudy skies. But the good news is we're going to have a few clouds clear out late Sunday. Temperatures are otherwise looking good as we head into the start of the Labor Day weekend. With schools across the U.S. facing a teacher shortage this year, the Biden administration is taking action. At the White House Wednesday, First Lady Jill Biden met with cabinet officials and education leaders about figuring out ways to fix the problem. Mark Meredith reports from the White House.
You still just feel that excitement, you know, that anxiety of the new semester.
It's back to school time for millions of Americans, but this year, some students may notice their classroom is more crowded, with a nationwide teacher shortage gripping communities coast to coast.
It's hurting communities with students from low-income backgrounds and students of color the most.
On Wednesday, First Lady Jill Biden, an educator herself, and top administration officials met with education and business leaders to strategize on how best to address the shortage.
There are so many other future educators out there who want to teach, but decide against it or decide to leave because so many obstacles stand in their way.
Education experts say teachers are leaving their profession for a variety of reasons, whether it be low pay, COVID concerns, or better opportunities elsewhere.
It's either my sanity and my dignity as a professional, or continue in a place with an employer that doesn't respect me.
The White House is partnering with several job search firms to help school districts recruit and hire more teachers. And officials say states should consider raising teachers' salaries by tapping money from last year's American Rescue Plan.
When you think of $40,000 a year for a teacher, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's baffling.
Now, officials say one more way to bring more teachers into the classrooms would be through expanding apprenticeship programs, which they believe would entice more people to eventually become educators. That brings us to our something to talk about this morning. What was or what is perhaps your favorite subject in school? We've got choices of English, science, history, math, fine arts, or maybe something else. We want to hear from you. Make sure you vote through our website, do so through the app, and of course take part in the discussion on our Facebook page. We've got Health Watch when we come back.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the CDC says 97 illnesses have been reported in 6 states as a result of an E. coli outbreak linked to Wendy's restaurants. Because the illness may be connected to romaine lettuce used in sandwiches, the hamburger chain is making adjustments to its supply. The 6 states linked the E. coli outbreak are Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. There have been no deaths reported, but 43 people have been hospitalized. Too much screen time could be causing you to age faster. That's what new research suggests in a study published in the journal Frontiers in Aging. The study takes a closer look at blue light, which emits from televisions and mobile devices, as well as other gadgets. Scientists studying fruit flies found that the high energy doses of the light appear to damage a wide range of cells, from skin and fat cells to sensory neurons. They say the light can alter essential chemicals that help the cells function. These changes may accelerate the cells' aging and lead to them dying prematurely. One scientist suggests avoiding excessive exposure to blue light is a good anti-aging strategy. Pfizer says the first doses of its COVID-19 booster have already been shipped to 62 locations across the U.S. More than 100,000 doses were sent as soon as the FDA authorized the updated boosters on Wednesday. CDC signed off on the boosters Thursday. The new bivalent booster vaccine targets both Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5. Pfizer-BioNTech expects to deliver 3 million doses by Tuesday, which is authorized for people 12 and older. Moderna's updated booster vaccine has been authorized for people 18 and older. Because of the CDC's approval, the new boosters can now start being administered. COVID-19 vaccines have helped to cut down the number of deaths around the world. Data was presented at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's Vaccine Advisors meeting on Thursday. It showed that in their first year of use, COVID-19 vaccines prevented an estimated 14 to 16 million deaths globally. That represents a 63% reduction. Despite this success in the United States, the uptake of the COVID-19 vaccine appears to have stalled. 2/3 of Americans have received their initial 2 shots. Less than half of those and less than 1/3 of the total U.S. population have received a booster. New research shows Black Americans who hold deep spiritual beliefs or who frequent religious activities have better heart health than those who do not. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association last week looked at survey responses and health screenings from nearly 3,000 African Americans. They were all adults between the ages of 21 and 84 who live in the Jackson, Mississippi area. Participants were grouped according to self-reported religious behaviors and by health factors such as diet, physical activity, sleep, and smoking. Researchers then looked at the odds of people achieving heart disease prevention goals. They found that more religious participants had better scores for metrics influencing cardiovascular health, such as blood pressure and cholesterol. Extreme heat apparently does more than just make people feel physically uncomfortable. It can also play a factor with the mind. That's according to a study by Gallup and Citi, those who live in areas where the temperatures are hotter than usual, more susceptible for a lower sense of well-being. Researchers say older people and those who live in countries with developing economies appear to be affected more often. Study also shows that well-being worldwide could fall by 17% by the end of the decade due to expected higher temperatures caused by the climate crisis. Let's look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching KOAM Morning News.
All right, let's get talking about some weather today. We are looking at a high of 79. We're also watching thunderstorm chances at noon and at 5, clearing out this evening just in time for Friday night football. 74 by 8 o'clock, so it's actually going to be pretty decent for Friday night football this evening. 68 at 11, 65 by 2 a.m. under partly cloudy skies, 64 degrees for an overnight low. The weekend shaping up pretty decently. Saturday, mostly cloudy, 87. Sunday, mostly cloudy and then clearing late in the day and 90 degrees. Temperatures looking good, not bad overall. So the future track, this is noon today. Showers and thunderstorms scattered across the area. This is 5 o'clock today. Showers and thunderstorms scattered across the area. And then we get into the evening, we deal with mostly cloudy skies, but we also deal with the rain moving out. Then we move into Friday, mostly cloudy skies, but no rain chances, at least not right now. And mostly cloudy skies again on Sunday with some late clearing. But again, no immediate rain chances. Monday, we may start to see an isolated storm or two late Monday evening. This is about all the rain that we could get, upwards of maybe even an inch of rain for, say, Joplin, Columbus, 3/4 of an inch in Miami, and maybe a pinch more than an inch down in Pineville. 7-day forecast, so here we go. The weekend looks good. Late day storm chances Monday, maybe some on Tuesday, and then clearing out, partly cloudy skies, and otherwise some hot conditions. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Coming up, investigators release why a Fort Scott church caught on fire.
We are watching rain and thunderstorms across the area. No severe weather expected with this, but will it clear out in time for football? That answer is coming up.
And a fatal crash in Crawford County claims the life of one person.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:32. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. It is a rainy start to the day today. You mentioned, so on my way in, it was just kind of sprinkling. And it would stop every so often. And it's so irritating. Isn't that when you're driving and it rains, you turn the wipers on, you're doing your thing, and then all of a sudden it stops. So you turn them off. A couple of minutes later, it starts raining again. Like, come on, make up your mind. Either rain or don't, because this is really annoying. You, on the other hand, encountered some much heavier rain on your way in this morning.
And the bulk of it right here by the TV station.
Yeah, and it's really starting to overspread the area right now. As you can see on the Skywatch storm tracker, showers and a few thunderstorms out there. Now, no strong or even severe weather is expected with any of this activity today. We are watching the additional development back down in northeast Oklahoma, and that'll continue to push through the area as the day progresses. Now, yesterday we had our one lone severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Montgomery and Labette counties, and in Coffeyville, 2 wind damage reports actually out of yesterday's activity. So, Friday night football, how's it looking? We're looking at cloud interference, but otherwise not bad. And look at the temperatures for Friday, because last Friday, man, I was sweating up a storm out there at the Joplin game. To this Friday, 73 at kickoff, 72 at halftime under mostly cloudy skies. We're going to take a look at the rest of today, tell you how long this rain's going to last, how much rain we might see, and maybe even glance at the 7-day here in a few minutes.
I feel like we had cloud interference last Friday, too.
We did have some cloud interference last Friday, but unfortunately that cloud interference didn't help the temperatures because it was toasty. It was a warm start to Friday night football last week. So,
which is typical for August football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually it's actually pretty typical even for the first couple of weeks of September. But this particular Friday, we're going to get a little break in that heat and have some decent weather to go out and play.
And we can thank the rain for that.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, is with the rain, the fields may be a little bit on the wet side. Could make the games a little bit more interesting. But otherwise, it shouldn't be raining at game time.
There you go. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, a fatal crash claims the life of a Pittsburgh man. Authorities say 21-year-old Caden Anderson was traveling south on 200th Street near Atkinson Municipal Airport when his vehicle left the road, struck a culvert, and overturned. He died at the scene. Investigators think they now know the cause and the cost of the fire that swept through the Mary Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Fort Scott this week. Investigators say the fire was sparked by a lightning strike Monday night. Crews from several surrounding departments battled the flames through the early Tuesday morning hours. The historic church was built in 1870. Early estimates show roughly $4 million in damages. Even with the roof a complete loss, the congregation plans to rebuild. Some Pittsburgh high school students are working to transform a downtown building. The group is called Launch. They're working on a project called The Spot. It's aimed at replacing a dilapidated building at 5th and Walnut into a mixed-use green space that could host events. Pitt State is helping the students by giving them training on professionalism and pitching ideas.
With what we call boot camp, and so the first couple of weeks of school we are bringing in guest speakers, talking to them about professionalism, attire, how to make professional presentations, how to interact with adults, and just a full scope of things. It helps to raise their confidence a little bit before they go out into the workplace.
Throughout the planning process, students in the group have worked with community and business leaders as well as PSU construction management students. Fort Scott National Historic Site is dedicating a night to discuss the memoir of the first black nurse in the Civil War. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Fort Scott Book Club wants the community to learn more about history through the power of learning.
So we have a plan for 6 months for this one. So we have books through December. So it's the first Thursday of every month at 6:30 right here at the fort.
The book club meets to discuss the designated book of the month. This month's read is the memoir of the first black nurse during the Civil War.
Tonight's book is specifically about African-American nurse and her story working with a USCT regiment, which might not be Kansas specific, but we had the USCTs, the US colored troops here, also had nursing here as well and female nursing, so I felt it made a good connection.
This book club does not just read about different time periods, but they're actually handling the tools that Nurse Susie Taylor used during the Civil War.
When I first picked it up and started reading it, before I knew it, I was 40 pages into it. It was an easy read and it was a fascinating read.
After looking at the medical tools from the Civil War era, if Barry was a wounded soldier, he'll react like this.
It's like, give me something to put me to sleep before you start operating on me.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Well, next month's book is about the travels of a Kansas soldier during the Civil War era.
All right, so as kids get on the bus this morning, they're going to need that umbrella with these scattered storms across the area. 69 degrees at 7 a.m. Bus bringing them home. More scattered storms at 3. 73 will be the temperature. We may warm up to a high of about 79, especially for parts of southeast Kansas that don't see as much rain. Scattered storms clearing out by about 6 o'clock this evening, just in time for Friday night football. Overnight low tonight, 64, partly cloudy skies. Not a bad evening overall, and the weekend shaping up nicely too. So we kick off the 3-day weekend. 87 Saturday, 90 on Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy skies. And I wanted to show you, nope, not that. I wanted to show you this, the 7-day forecast. We do have some storm chances late Monday and into Tuesday. Otherwise, we're looking at lower 90s, upper 80s under partly cloudy skies. So a pretty decent few days ahead once we get through this batch of rain today.
All right. We can make it through it, that's for sure.
We can, and we need it, so we'll take it.
That's right. Well, this morning we're discussing the teacher shortage. It's back to school time for millions of Americans, but this year some students may notice their classrooms are more crowded. With a nationwide teacher shortage gripping communities coast to coast. On Wednesday, First Lady Jill Biden, an educator herself, and top administration officials met with education and business leaders to strategize on how best to address the shortage.
Education experts say teachers are leaving their profession for a variety of reasons, whether it be low pay, COVID concerns, or better opportunities elsewhere. The White House is partnering with several job search firms to help school districts recruit and hire more teachers, and officials say states should consider raising teacher salaries by tapping money from last year's American Rescue Plan. And that brings us to our something to talk about this morning. What was your favorite subject in school? Was it English, science, history, math, arts, maybe something different? So far, 55% of you have picked the subject I despise the most, math.
That would be mine.
All right.
I loved math growing up.
And our oldest loves math. She absolutely loves math, and it blows my mind because I hate it. So did mom. Her mom, my wife.
She loved math.
I don't know if my mom hated math or not. 9% of you say science, 9% of you say the fine arts, and 27% of you say history, and 8% of you say English. See, those numbers just updated right now. So English and history were my two favorites. So
Okay.
make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and of course, share your favorite subject on our Facebook page.
Sounds good. All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. We've all heard of therapy dogs, but you ever heard about a therapy rabbit? We're going to take you to a nursing home in Colorado that has one for its residents.
Plus, a Luke Oil executive dies by falling out a window. However, people call his death suspicious due to the fact that he openly criticized Putin.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, the chairman of Russian oil and gas giant Lukoil has died after falling out of the window of a hospital in Moscow. A statement from his company said Ravil Maganov passed away after a severe illness. But there are suspicions about his cause of death. Lukoil made headlines in March when it called for the soonest termination of the armed conflict in Ukraine. The company is Russia's second largest oil and gas producer and employs more than 100,000 people. Law enforcement sources in Russia say Maganov, quote, most likely committed suicide. At least 5 prominent Russian businessmen have died by suicide since late January. Police arrest a man who attempted to gun down Argentina's vice president. The incident was captured on live television. It happened Thursday as Vice President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner greeted supporters outside her home in Buenos Aires. Video shows the man approaching the vice president and pointing a weapon at her head at point-blank range. The man appears to pull the trigger, but no bullets are fired. He's taken into custody after a few seconds of confusion. The suspect has been identified as a Brazilian national. He's being held by Argentina's federal police. Rallies have been taking place outside the vice president's home for several days in response to an ongoing trial in which she is accused of corruption. Argentina's president has declared Friday a national holiday for the nation to rally together in support of the vice president. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back with the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, we're watching thunderstorm chances to start the day, and they're going to hold on for a while. The good news is no severe weather expected today. It's just some good old thunder boomers, as my dad called them, and just some much needed rain that we have been desperate to see to help with the drought. The rain will clear out later today, and then we're looking at a cloudy but calm Labor Day weekend. Now, right now on the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can see we are pretty well socked in with showers and thunderstorms if you're in extreme southeast Kansas and southeastward. Otherwise, a good chunk of southeast Kansas is remaining dry as we go into the day. Watching the thunderstorm development back across northeast Oklahoma, these storms will continue to develop and eventually roll off to the northeast. Yesterday, we had the one lone severe thunderstorm warning from Montgomery and Labette County, which left a couple of wind damage reports in the city of Coffeyville with winds a little over 60 miles an hour. As we head into Friday night football, we're looking at cloud interference, but no rain is really expected in the forecast. We're looking at mostly cloudy at kickoff, 73, halftime, 72, still mostly cloudy, but not a bad evening, maybe just some wet fields to contend with. 7th and Range line, you can see in the glare of the light, it is raining in Joplin right now and will continue to do so for a while. 70 degrees in the city right now. We're dealing with decent temperatures to start the day. You got 66 Yates Center, 70 Fredonia and Parsons and Columbus and Neosho and Anderson, and 69 in Monette. As the kids get on the bus about 7 o'clock this morning, scattered showers and thunderstorms holding on, 69 degrees. And when the bus brings them back, we don't do a lot of heating today, as you've noticed. 73 by 3 o'clock with a few more scattered thunderstorms. Now, our friends in southeast Kansas are going to be more likely to hit this high of 79 today, where they don't see as much rain. Otherwise, storms start to clear out by 5, 6 o'clock, leaving us with mostly cloudy skies as we head into tonight with an overnight low of 64 degrees. And the weekend, as we mentioned, shaping up decently. 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Mostly cloudy skies both days, and then maybe some clearing late Sunday. Temperatures looking pretty good. We're having another check of your forecast here in a few minutes, but first, here's Tanya with the news you need to know before you head out the door.
That's right. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A fatal crash claims the life of a Pittsburgh man. Authorities say 21-year-old Caden Anderson was traveling south on 200th Street near Atkinson Municipal Airport when his vehicle left the road, struck a culvert, and overturned. He died at the scene. Investigators think they now know the cause and the cost of the fire that swept through the Mary Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Fort Scott this week. Investigators say the fire was sparked by a lightning strike Monday night. Crews from several surrounding departments battled the flames through the early Tuesday morning hours. The historic church was built in 1870. Early estimates show roughly $4 million in damages. Even with the roof a complete loss, the congregation plans to rebuild. Well, sports betting officially becomes legal in Kansas on Thursday. 6 sports betting sites are now active in the state, including popular sports books, FanDuel and DraftKings. Retail sports books at Hollywood Casino in Kansas City and Kansas City Star Casino near Wichita are also open now. An official launch for sports betting is set for next Thursday. A new Missouri law outlining books with sexually explicit images from school libraries is now in effect. It's now a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail or a $2,000 fine for librarians and other educators to give students access to such material. There are exceptions for anatomy, biology, sex education, art, and other images considered educational. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
All right, thunderstorm chances hold on through the afternoon. Again, no severe weather expected, just some thunderstorms bringing much needed rainfall. Hanging on by noon today, and then as we head into the evening, this is 5 o'clock, storms still hanging on. But just in time for football tonight, they start to clear out, leaving us with mostly cloudy skies. We head into tomorrow, again, mostly cloudy skies, but decent. And as we head into Sunday, same kind of situation. Mostly to partly cloudy skies, still decent temperatures. And then by Monday is when we're watching the chance for some late day isolated thunderstorms. Nothing that'll ruin your day, but some of those may pop up later in the evening. So we're looking at 79 today, 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday, 92 by Monday, 90 on Tuesday with a few more stray thunderstorm chances in there as well. And then we heat up and stay dry for the rest of the week ahead after we get through the Labor Day weekend. So not bad at all. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Well, you've heard of therapy dogs, but what about therapy rabbits?
Yeah, at one nursing home in Colorado, a new bunny is helping engage the residents there. Katie Eastman has the story.
Little things, no matter how small, can make a difference in someone's life.
And he gets really excited when he knows he's getting his lettuce. I open the refrigerator and...
Buddy the bunny's impact here is big.
His ears are so cute, aren't they?
He's the youngest resident at the Good Samaritan Nursing Home in Fort Collins. The 4-H club donated him.
Rub your nose.
And Buddy, he's a reminder of the times before these women came here.
He reminds me so much of my cat that's why I come here.
He reminds me of our pet at home. Years and years and years ago. Yeah, years and years and years ago.
Life looks different now.
I can still walk at 92 years old.
But Miss Evelyn visits Buddy every single day.
Because I want to make sure he's got the carrot. He's got a carrot to eat.
He keeps her going.
I think it's good for the digestion. Is that good?
Moments like this.
Huh? Was that good?
Remind them certain parts of the past aren't over.
It makes me joyous way inside.
Spending time with Buddy makes all the difference.
We sure seem back to normal when we do. can't resist kissing him.
So probably not the Easter Bunny.
Probably not, but still cute nonetheless. An excellent idea in my opinion.
Well, this idea dates back several years.
See, the home used to have another rabbit. It got the rabbit because a worker knew a resident who never came out of her room that used to keep them.
After they got that rabbit, she came out every day.
There you go. You got to engage somehow. And rabbits are a good way to do it. We're going to engage the rain deflectors later today. We'll tell you when it's going to clear out right after this. Hey, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. I was just humming at one of my favorite little tunes. You got to do that. You got to do something to get your day going, right? Well, we got thunderstorms to start your day, so if that gets you going, well, you got that to work with. The rain will clear out later today. The good news is just in time for Friday Night Football. Our Labor Day weekend is looking a little bit on the cloudy side, but it's looking also to be pretty calm. Scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. Now, most of southeast Kansas is dry, but everybody else getting this rain activity. And we're also looking at the showers and thunderstorms in northeast Oklahoma as they'll make their way up here. And a quick check of the 7-day. We got 79 today, especially for those who don't see much rain. The weekend looking good. 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Late day storm chances on Labor Day itself, 92. Maybe some storm chances Tuesday. And then we clear out and stay hot for the rest of the week. More right after this.
Coming up, 6 sports betting sites begin taking wagers in Kansas as the Sunflower State officially legalizes sports betting.
We're looking at good amounts of rainfall as we head through the rest of the day. We'll talk about the entire forecast, including Friday Night Football coming up.
And the city of Pittsburgh looks to add as many as 1,500 houses in town to provide residents for its growing workforce over the coming years.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 6 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's raining for a good chunk of the area right now, unless you're in southeast Kansas, where it's pretty dry. But if you're in extreme southeast Kansas, say Cherokee, Crawford counties, you're seeing some rain. Most of us in southwest Missouri, northeast Oklahoma, and northwest Arkansas also dealing with the rain. Right now at 7th and Rangeline, it's raining. If you look close, you can see the rain falling in the little light glare there. So we're dealing with the rain, wet roads, so do be cautious if you're driving. 70 degrees right now in Joplin. Cloud cover and rain keeping us at pretty decent temperatures. 65 Yates Center, 70 in Parsons. Columbus, Welch, Miami, Neosho, Carthage, all sitting at 70, as well as Stockton, 69 in Nevada, and 69 in Lamar. Kids get on the bus about 7 o'clock. They'll need that umbrella if you're under the rain, of course. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, 69 degrees. They'll hang on through the afternoon. More scattered showers and thunderstorms, 73 by 3 o'clock. We don't do a lot of warming today. Now, for our friends at southeast Kansas, you'll be more likely to get closer to this high of 79. Everybody else is probably going to sit about the mid-70s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will clear out this evening in time for Friday Night Football. Overnight low of 64, partly cloudy skies ahead of us. We're going to talk more about what the future holds and what the 7-day looks like as we head into the Labor Day weekend here in just a few minutes.
I know a lot of people have plans to get out of town and a lot of people have plans to stay in town. And a lot of those plans are outdoors. So
yes, they are. So we're going to tell you what you need to plan for and if it's going to rain or not here in a couple minutes.
It's all about making plans.
Plans are the way to go.
Being prepared. All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, investigators believe they now know the cause and the cost of the fire that burned the Mary Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Fort Scott this week. Investigators say the fire was sparked by a lightning strike Monday night. Crews from several surrounding departments battled the flames through the early Tuesday morning hours. The historic church was built in 1870. Early estimates show roughly $4 million in damages. Even with the roof a complete loss, the congregation plans to rebuild. Sports betting officially becomes legal in Kansas. 6 sports betting sites are now active in the state, including popular sports books, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Retail sports books at Hollywood Casino in Kansas City and Kansas Star Casino near Wichita are also open now. An official launch for sports betting is set for next Thursday. A new Missouri law will ban books containing sexually explicit images from school libraries. It's now a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail or a $2,000 fine for librarians and other educators to give students access to such material. There are exceptions for anatomy, biology, sex education, art, and other images considered educational. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College partners with the Community Crisis Center in Miami. This month is the launch of the Are You Safe campaign on campus. Victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking will now be able to speak confidentially with an advocate on campus, chat online, or call their 24-hour hotline.
I think this will just be an extra layer of security and prevention for our students. This will be an outlet for our students to have somebody to talk to, somebody that isn't an NEO staff or faculty member.
If you're interested in becoming an advocate or need to reach out to one, you can go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Pittsburgh high school students roll up their sleeves and get ready to transform a downtown building. The group is called Launch. They're working on a project called The Spot. It's aimed at replacing a dilapidated building at 5th and Walnut into a mixed-use green space that could host events. Pitt State is helping the students by giving them training on professionalism and pitching ideas.
With what we call boot camp, and so the first couple of weeks of school we are bringing in guest speakers, talking to them about professionalism, attire, how to make professional presentations, how to interact with adults, and just a full scope of things. It helps to raise their confidence a little bit before they go out into the workplace.
Throughout the planning process, students in the group have worked with community and business leaders as well as PSU construction management students. A growing population and jobs drive the building process for new housing in Pittsburgh. Many new jobs in southeast Kansas could mean a continuing increase in population over the next few years. The city plans to build 1,500 houses in town. Officials say it's not uncommon that people who work in Pittsburgh actually live elsewhere because of a lack of housing.
Pittsburgh did a study, and one of the things they found is a lot of people that work here live in Joplin because there's just not enough housing here. So what we want is the Joplin people to come back where they're living and working and enjoy life here in Pittsburgh.
According to the city manager, the current plan has about 450 houses that have been either platted or planned. Coming up later in the show, our own Yana Hatula takes us to Pittsburgh for a closer look at this story. On this date, back in 1969, America's first automatic teller machine, or ATM, makes its public debut, dispensing cash to customers at Chemical Bank in Rockville Center, New York.
Now, ATMs went on to revolutionize the banking industry, eliminating the need to visit a bank to conduct basic financial transactions. By the 1980s, these money machines had become widely popular and handled many of the functions previously performed by human tellers, such as check deposits and money transfers between accounts. Today, there are well over 1 million ATMs around the world. I can't believe it's actually just over 1 million ATMs. I would have thought there's a lot more.
Yeah, me too.
There's a new one, though. Okay, so there's a new one added approximately every 5 minutes. It's estimated that more than 170 million Americans over the age of 18 had an ATM card in 2005 and used it 6 to 8 times a month. Not surprisingly, ATMs get their busiest workouts on Fridays.
And I'm sure like on the weekends or, you know, after banking hours too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. That's the convenience of them is the 24-hour ATMs. My question is, if there's 1 million of them around the world and how many get added every day, how many are out of service every day?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe that's why there's one added every 5 minutes, because they got to compensate for the ones where we're lacking in ATM coverage. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not lacking in rain coverage today, unfortunately. As you can see, this is noon today. More scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll have more of them as the day progresses as well. They should clear out in time for Friday night football. And the other good news is no severe weather is expected with these storms today. As we head into Labor Day weekend, mostly cloudy skies, but it should be pretty darn dry, which is nice as well. And as we get into Monday, we may see a late day isolated storm or two. Otherwise, not too bad. And take a look at the amount of rain that we are expecting as well. We could see some areas, as you can see, Parsons, about ½ inch of rain. Columbus and Joplin, almost an inch. 3/4 of an inch in Miami, and maybe a little over an inch down in Pineville. 7-day forecast shows us those isolated storm chances Monday, 92 degrees, 90 on Tuesday with a few more scattered storm chances, and we clear out for the rest of the week and get hot under partly cloudy skies.
All right, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, In a primetime address to the nation, last night President Biden warned of an assault on equality and democracy heading into the midterm elections.
Plus, we know air pollution can take its toll on anyone, but a new study says those negative impacts can harm women more than men. We've got the details.
And we're headed to the movies as a new documentary shows us how, despite a comeback during the pandemic, the drive-in theater faces many other challenges. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, ahead of the all-important November midterm elections, President Biden is sounding an alarm about what he calls a threat to democracy from former President Trump and his most ardent supporters. President says the extreme ideology of Donald Trump and his adherents, quote, threatens the very foundation of our republic. Bradley Blackburn has the latest.
But as I stand here tonight, equality and democracy are under assault.
Against the backdrop of Philadelphia's Independence Hall, President Biden addressed Americans to warn about what he considers a threat to the soul of the nation.
MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence.
In his primetime address, the president called out former President Trump and fervent Make America Great Again supporters, while saying he wanted to be clear that mainstream Republicans do not embrace extreme ideology.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
President Biden said efforts are underway across the country to undermine future elections at the state level. House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy delivered a preemptive rebuttal from Scranton, Pennsylvania, where Mr. Biden was born.
Joe Biden is right. Democracy is on the ballot in November. And Joe Biden and the radical left in Washington are dismantling Americans' democracy before our very eyes.
A new CBS News poll found 7 in 10 Americans believe democracy and the rule of law are under threat, about the same as in the days following the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Biden's address in Pennsylvania is one of 3 trips he's taking to the politically important swing state within about a week. Former President Trump also has a rally planned in the state this weekend in the Scranton area. That's a look at today's top national story. We'll be right back with another look at your forecast.
All right, we're dealing with some showers and thunderstorms to start the day, and you can see where our better batch of heavy rain is across parts of Cherokee County and Ottawa County, and we're going to see these storm chances continue throughout the day. Now, the good news is no severe weather expected, but we will see some thunderstorms. And of course, thunderstorms do pack some lightning and thunder. And they pack some pretty gnarly looking clouds from time to time as well, like the ones Monday evening did as they rolled into Joplin. No severe storms, but those clouds pretty spooky looking. We look down to the south in northeast Oklahoma. You can see more shower and thunderstorm activity down here, and this will all slowly be moving off to the north and east. And of course, we did deal with some severe weather yesterday. Montgomery and Labette counties had a severe thunderstorm warning, and that left a couple of wind damage reports in the city of Coffeyville as winds reached about 60 miles an hour. Now, for Friday night football, despite the rain we're seeing this morning, we're looking at just cloud interference tonight, as the rain should clear out, but it's going to clear out at just the last minute, so a number of these fields are going to be a bit damp this evening. 73 at kickoff, mostly cloudy. 72 at halftime, also mostly cloudy. 7th and range line, raining pretty good in Joplin right now, which you can see in the glow of the light in our parking lot down there. And temperatures still not bad, 70 degrees with a light south-southeast breeze in the city. Temperatures across the area not looking bad either. We got 65 Yates Center, 67 in Chanute, 69 in Pittsburgh, and 70 in Carthage. As the kids get on the bus this morning, we're going to look at more scattered showers and thunderstorms, 69 at 7 a.m. And then when that bus brings them home about 3 o'clock, scattered showers and thunderstorms not warming up a lot either, 73 degrees. Now, as we plan our day today, We're going to go through 72 at noon, 79 at 5. Now, this high of 79 probably is going to be confined to southeast Kansas, where you don't see as much rain. If you're under the rain, you may barely make it to 75 today. Scattered storms will clear out this evening, 74 by 8 under mostly cloudy skies. As we go into tonight, 68 at 11, 65 by 2 a.m., overnight low of 64 with partly cloudy skies. And the weekend not looking bad either. So 87 Saturday, 90 on Sunday under partly to mostly cloudy skies. And on the future track, we watch the rain. This is noon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms. 5 scattered showers and thunderstorms, but they're starting to clear on out of here. And as we head into tomorrow, we've got those mostly cloudy skies, but no real rain chances. And the same thing on Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, no real rain chances there either. So not bad. And Monday, not looking bad either. Some late day thunderstorms maybe on Monday. Otherwise, 92, 90 on Tuesday with a few more storms, and we warm up and dry out for the rest of the week. Drive-in movies had a bit of a comeback during the pandemic, but behind the scenes, we're still facing many challenges, including indoor activities as those started to reopen. A new documentary brings a look at these family-owned businesses, how they're a big part of their communities, and creative efforts to keep this movie experience going. Ashley Dvorkin has the details.
Should be a really nice night for drive-in movies.
The new documentary, Back to the Drive-In, visits 11 family-owned drive-ins across the country, bringing a look at how they've struggled to keep business going since the pandemic.
They all felt a little bit of a boost during COVID, but as we were coming out of it, they were all having all the things we were hearing about, supply chain shortages and a hard time getting employees. Some of them were having issues like the airlines with people being really argumentative with them and lack of movies. A lot of films were delayed and, that's an issue.
Filmmaker April Wright notes drive-ins are all about the experience, so many create cool ways to bring customers in.
They've been doing different types of things for years, but some of the things you see in the film, trying bands before the movies. One of the coolest drive-ins that plays mostly only retro films in Greenville, New York. They were playing The Big Lebowski when I got there. And they actually have a bar attached to their snack bar. So they do theme nights that go with the films.
And they always sell out really fast.
All the drive-ins are family-owned. And a lot of people say that they're unique because they reflect each unique owner, each unique family. And they reflect the community that they're in. So every drive-in is a different experience.
The film shows how much work goes in day to day and how much heart too.
Having a family gathering place like this that's outdoors and where people in the community can see each other, I think that's super important for the fabric of communities. And we don't have as many places like this as we used to have.
Back to the Drive-In is playing at drive-ins and in theaters.
Of course, we've got the Route 66 Drive-In Theater just outside of Carthage, which is always a great experience if you're looking for that family movie night. We're going to be right back with Health Watch after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, negative health impacts of breathing air pollution may be more severe for women than men. A new study from the European Lung Foundation looked for changes in people's blood brought about by exposure to diesel exhaust. Researchers found more impacts related to inflammation, infection, and cardiovascular disease in women than in men. Well, if you're trying to improve your health by losing weight, it may be time to call in the professionals. New research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association suggests people trying to make lifestyle changes are more successful when they use a commercial weight loss program compared to those trying to do it on their own. Well, new data published in JAMA Open Network shows half of U.S. hospital-based maternal deaths occur before or after childbirth. Researchers found maternal deaths happening at childbirth were declining, while those happening during pregnancy or postpartum remain unchanged. The study's author says hospitals need to examine what's driving maternal deaths during those times. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
All right, as we go through the rest of the day, we got some scattered showers and thunderstorms to deal with. Nothing severe, thankfully, but just some thunderstorms and much needed rain. 72 at noon, 79 at 5, 74 at 8. The rain showers should clear out just in time for Friday night football, but they may leave some of those fields a little bit on the wet side. 68 at 11, 65 by 2. Overnight low of 64 under partly cloudy skies. And as we head into the weekend, 87 Saturday, 90 on Sunday under mostly cloudy skies, some clearing late Sunday, and then we are watching the possibility of some additional isolated storms Monday. Noon today, scattered showers and thunderstorms. 5 o'clock today, scattered showers and thunderstorms. And as mentioned, we clear out for the weekend, so mostly cloudy skies, but decent otherwise. And the 7-day shows where those isolated storms do make a return on Monday. 92 late day storms, maybe some on Tuesday, and then we clear out and stay heated and dry for the rest of the upcoming week. We're back right after this.
Coming up, 6 sports betting sites begin taking wagers in Kansas as the Sunflower States officially make sports betting legal.
Rain will go away. When will that be? I've got that answer coming up.
And the city of Pittsburgh looks to add as many as 1,500 houses in town to provide residents for its growing workforce over the coming years.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:28. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's raining in Joplin right now. It's been doing that for a little bit. It's going to continue to do that for a little bit. But it is rain that we need. And there may be some thunderstorms. But the one thing we want to emphasize, at least right now, no severe weather is expected. So that's a good thing. These are just some good old thunderstorms bringing us much needed rain. Skywatch Storm Tracker shows those much needed thunderstorms, and you can see we still have a pretty decent pocket of heavy rain, especially right over Cherokee and Ottawa counties. Some thunder in there as well, but not that much. We are watching the storms down in northeast Oklahoma as they'll continue to develop and progressively move on off to the northeast. Then, of course, we had a couple of wind damage reports in Coffeyville from yesterday's storms. Nothing like that expected today, and the good news is storms clearing out just in time for Friday night football. Looking at cloud interference, 73 at kickoff, mostly cloudy, 72 at halftime under mostly cloudy skies. And at 7th and Range Line, there's that rain falling in front of our lights, 70 degrees. In Joplin right now, 67 Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott, 69 in Nevada, and 71 in Carthage. Kids getting on the bus this morning, going to be about 69 degrees with those scattered showers and storms. And scattered showers and storms holding on this afternoon as well, 73 at 3 o'clock. As we go through the day, 79 is the expected high, but that's mostly going to be for those of you in southeast Kansas not seeing much rain. Everybody else probably going to peak at about 75. Scattered showers and storms clear out by about 5:30, 6 o'clock, leaving us with mostly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies through the overnight, low of 64 degrees, and heading into the beginning of the Labor Day weekend, 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Mostly cloudy both days, but Sunday we'll actually start to see some clearing late in the day. We do have a couple of additional rain chances out there. We're going to talk about that in the 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
All right, a lot to talk about. A lot of people on the road this weekend.
Yeah, and even those staying at home, if you're planning a backyard barbecue, at least Saturday and Sunday, looking pretty good. We'll tell you about Monday here in just a few.
All right, sounds great. Well, sports betting officially becomes legal in Kansas. 6 sports betting sites are now active in the state, including popular sports books, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Retail sports books at Hollywood Casino in Kansas City and Kansas Star Casino near Wichita are also open now. An official launch for sports betting is set for next Thursday. Well, some Pittsburgh high school students roll up their sleeves and get ready to transform a downtown building. The group is called Launch. They're working on a project called The Spot. It's aimed at replacing a dilapidated building at 5th and Walnut into a mixed-use green space that could host events. Pitt State is helping the students by giving them training on professionalism and pitching ideas.
With what we call boot camp, and so the first couple of weeks of school we are bringing in guest speakers, talking to them about professionalism, attire, how to make professional presentations, how to interact with adults, and just a full scope of things. It helps to raise their confidence a little bit before they go out into the workplace.
Planning process, students in the group have worked with community and business leaders as well as PSU construction management students. Well, new jobs in southeast Kansas could mean a continuing increase in residents within the next few years. However, there's not enough housing for them right now. KOAM's Yana Hatula talked with Pittsburgh officials about what they need to grow.
As the city of Pittsburgh grows, more workers are needed. A recent study found that a lot of workers in Pittsburgh live in Joplin. To avoid more people moving to Joplin, Pittsburgh leaders plan to have 1,500 houses built in town.
Now the current plan has about 450 that have been platted or planned, so we've got a long ways to go.
Even if there was housing available, many homes are over 50 years old.
When you have people that are new young families, sometimes they want a new house and a new neighborhood to live in.
We have nothing built that is not sold or under contract.
Mickey Vena, a real estate developer in Pittsburgh, working on a Silverback Landing. He is shocked by how quickly the housing market moves in the city.
I've been told by the real estate community here in town that they will put a house on the market and within 3 or 4 days it's sold and gone. So they almost have to be the right place, the right time.
Vena tells me one thing slowing building down is a lack of workers.
If we could get more contractors to this area, we will keep everybody busy.
Normally, constructing a house would take 6 to 7 months. Now it takes 12 to 15 months.
The housing industry is a subcontractor type industry, so there are about 10 to 20 different trades, whether it be electricians or plumbers or heat and air guys. That makes it a little bit tougher of coordinating those trades to be in at the same time.
Vena says 65 of 135 lots are currently under construction, within close proximity to Pittsburgh State Campus.
The college is just always a ball of energy and a lot of fun to live around. So we're about a half mile from the university.
In Pittsburgh, Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
Venice says Silverback Landing could take up to 15 years to be completed. It'll have a park and pool in the middle of the subdivision, something you don't always see in similar projects in the four-state area. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
On this date in 2013, 64-year-old Diana Nyad becomes the first person to swim from Cuba to Florida without the use of a shark cage for protection.
In 1978, she attempted her first swim from Havana to Key West. However, dangerous swells and strong currents pushed her off course, forced her out of the water after about 42 hours.
Ooh.
Yeah, Nyad made 4 more attempts over the years, but was forced out of the water each time due to health reasons, including an extended asthma attack, storms, or jellyfish stings.
Yikes.
Yeah, now for part of the journey, for her 5th attempt, Nyad wore a bodysuit, gloves, booties, and a special mask to protect her from jellyfish. And she completed the 110-mile swim through the jellyfish and shark-infested waters from Havana to Key West after nearly 53 hours in the open water, where she staggered ashore on the Smathers Beach and was greeted by a crowd of supporters. I can't swim, so that would not be something I could even try to do.
It's real like that down there by Key West, too, because I've actually went swimming down there, and my son last summer got stung by a jellyfish, and we swam with sharks. Now, these were nurse sharks, and they were not dangerous at all, but it was still pretty cool to swim with them.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all.
Now, the jellyfish sting was bad.
That I'm sure was not pleasant.
He was sick
at
for
all.
like 48 hours. Yeah.
Ow.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Yeah.
The good news is no jellyfish in our local waters, not at least in the rainwater we're getting. We're looking at the rainfall amounts. So we could see about a ½ inch by Parsons, 1/4 inch in Pittsburgh, 3/4 of an inch of rain in Miami, and upwards of an inch of rain down by Pineville. 7-day forecast shows us where we do clear out for the Labor Day weekend, and we are watching late day isolated thunderstorm chances on Monday, 92, maybe a few more on Tuesday, and then it just gets dry and partly cloudy to wrap up the rest of the week.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. If it's Friday, you know Shannon Becker has the 3 big news stories of the week.
Plus, as school season gets back underway across the country, so does the nationwide teacher shortage. We're talking school in our Morning Talker, and we want to have you weigh in. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You know it's Friday, and what that means Shannon Becker is here to give us our big 3.
Da-da-da. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, number 3 story this week. Everybody was talking about the smoke they saw near the Petro exit the other night. Ozarko Tire Warehouse is actually behind the Pilot, and it caught fire. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening, and then by about 11 o'clock, 1,000 tires inside this building, raging fire. You didn't really see a lot on the outside except this incredible smoke.
That's what happens when tires burn.
Yeah, and it kept burning. They were still there at noon the next day. I don't know the official time that they called the fire out, but I know Department of Natural Resources is assisting with all that cleanup. Our number 2 story, Joplin News First, what's live and what's breaking. A cab ripped from the chassis of an Amazon truck. This is overnight over the weekend, early Sunday morning. That's our number 2 story of the week. The Amazon driver hit the back of this trailer. You can see that there. It's a trailer full of axles that would come off of a semi-tractor trailer. So you can see the cab is off. The driver, non-life-threatening injuries, both drivers. So amazing, absolutely amazing. But it goes to show wearing your seatbelt, what could happen.
That could explain why my package is late.
Maybe, perhaps. Our number 1 story. Now, I don't know if I can I blame Chris about this one? The possibility of Whataburger coming to Joplin. So, where it would be is the former Captain D's location or Taco Hut. Both were right there in that same area. There's now a drainage creek there. So it's going to go before the Joplin Zoning Commission this next week, and they'll decide if they can rezone this area on Highview. That could be a possibility of a Whataburger location. A lot of people have been talking about it, but Chris Warner is the one who told me about it first. And then our bonus story of the week. A 150-year-old church burns. That's what Tanya woke me up on Monday and said, hey, did you hear about it? I had no idea. And here it is. A 150-year-old church in Fort Scott caught fire. This is footage from our friend Lisa Jolly. Actually, it's going to cost about $4 million, I think, to renovate this. It's not a total loss, but that's a lot of money. They're part of the Wichita Catholic Diocese. And we also got a chance to look inside and see, surprisingly, obviously there's a ton of water damage. I mean, the basement was full of water completely.
Which happens a lot when you have that big of a fire.
Yeah, you're talking
you've got to put water on it.
Tens of thousands of gallons of water went in here. But the statues and the things that are precious to them as a church, they were still intact. We got a chance to go inside there. So you can read more about it, KOAM News Now on our Joplin News First tab. Check out our website.
1870.
Yeah.
Wow.
They dedicated 1872.
1872.
Yeah. The church actually started in 1860, and they have a school there, a K through 6 and a preschool. It's a really active church in the community. So I know everyone's rallying around them right now.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll be able to rebuild soon. All right, do you mind sticking around for
Nope,
next hour?
not at all. I'll be here.
All right, we will be right back. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant Don Duckworth. The native of Carthage, Missouri, served from 1954 to 1961 at Camp Matsushima, Japan, as a helicopter mechanic. To Sergeant Don Duckworth, we thank you, today's four-state hero.
It is time for some Finally Friday birthdays today, and we begin in Chanute with Bellum Joe Anderson, turning the big number 1 today. Bellum, a very happy birthday to you.
And Stella Smith, turning 3 years old. Birthday is actually tomorrow, which makes this fitting because it will be her golden birthday. Hope she has a great party in Oswego for number 3.
And we've got Brexton Thornton turning 6 in, in Thayer today. Got some pretty cool toys there to spend the day with. Brexton, a very happy birthday to you.
And Jackson Cohen, 7 strong this year for Jackson, celebrating in Parsons with love from the family.
And we've got Natalie Storm turning 13 in Jasper. Happy birthday to you, Natalie.
Alexa McDade, celebrating birthday number 14 this year in Seneca.
And we've got another number 14, Delaney Lusker in Frontenac. Very happy birthday to you, Delaney.
All right, and Avery Johnson celebrating birthday number 16 in Pittsburgh.
And Nate Thompson turning 19, and this comes with love from the family. Happy birthday to you, Nate.
All right, and Brittany Aiken celebrating birthday number 29 this year in Iola.
And then a big jump here. We've got Janice Sandberg in Columbus celebrating birthday number 80. Happy birthday to you, Janice.
All right, and Clark Egbert celebrating in McCune. Happy birthday, Clark.
And we've also got Cynthia Holden celebrating a birthday, and this happy birthday comes from Mom. Cynthia, a very happy birthday to you today.
All right, in Columbus, Sam Eddington, wishing you the best today.
And we've got Dennis and Lola Wade celebrating their golden anniversary, number 50 over in Galena. A very happy 50th anniversary to you, Dennis and Lola.
All right. that. And Rob and Ellie Monty are celebrating double nickels. 55 years of wedded bliss in Parsons. Congratulations to the Monties.
We've also got Daniel Clugston in Columbus celebrating a birthday today, and Matt Saporito turning 43 in Columbus. That is a lot of Columbus celebrations today.
Party in the bus. You got that air horn ready?
We need to get the air horn ready again.
All right, Brent and Peggy Sutherland are celebrating their golden anniversary. We got a lot of golden anniversaries today. Their 50-year celebration is this weekend, along with the Dingmans, who are celebrating 50 years as well. They're in Liberal, Missouri. Congrats going out to Lester and Vicky.
All right, and then of course, you know what you need to do with these birthdays and anniversaries.
If you've got one, go ahead and submit it to us through email. You can do that at birthdays@koamtv.com or send them to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com.
And of course, while you're there, make sure you sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. You get some great deals from local businesses. All you have to do is go to koamnewsnow.com and sign up for the Birthday Club. Well, this morning, we're discussing the teacher shortage. It's back to school time for millions of Americans, but this year, some students may notice their classroom is a little bit more crowded as there's a nationwide teacher shortage gripping communities coast to coast. Now, on Wednesday, First Lady Jill Biden, an educator herself, and top administration officials met with educators and business leaders to strategize on how to best address the shortage. Education experts say teachers are leaving their profession for a number of reasons, whether it's low pay, COVID concerns, or better opportunities elsewhere. And the White House partnering with several job search firms to help school districts recruit and hire more teachers, and officials say states should consider raising teachers' salaries by tapping money from last year's American Rescue Plan. That brings us to our question for you today. What was your favorite subject when you were in school? Was it English, science, history, math, the fine arts, maybe something else? 40% of you say math. All right, more power to you on that. Math was not my biggest, strongest subject. 13% of you say English, 27% of you say history. Those were my two favorites. 8% of you science, 4% the fine arts, and 8% of you had a different subject that was your favorite. And perhaps weather was one of your favorite subjects if you had that opportunity. It falls into the science category. And weather is something we're looking at today. We've got showers and thunderstorms, and we've still got some heavy rain in Cherokee County, Ottawa County, starting to move into Jasper and Newton County this morning. And of course, we're watching additional thunderstorm development down in northeast Oklahoma, and these storms will progressively make their way on off to the northeast. Now, the good news is, unlike yesterday, no severe weather expected today, but we did have a couple of storm damage reports from wind in Coffeyville. Our football forecast, we are looking at cloud interference today. We should have the rain clear out just in time for football, but it's going to clear out kind of late, so we're talking maybe some wet fields out there. 73, mostly cloudy at kickoff, 72 at halftime. Also mostly cloudy, and mostly cloudy with some light rain still falling in Joplin right now. Temperatures not bad, 70 degrees to start the day, and across the area temperatures aren't bad. 67 in Yates Center, Chanute, and Iola, 70 in Parsons, Welch, Miami, Neosho, and 71 in Carthage. Not a bad start to the day at all. Kids getting on the bus, we got those scattered showers and thunderstorms, 69 at 7 a.m., and we're looking at 73 by 3 o'clock with additional shower and thunderstorm chances. And as we go through the day, we're going to heat up pretty decently. If you're in southeast Kansas where you're not seeing much rain, you'll probably hit this high of 79. Everybody else, we're looking at about 75 is where we're going to max out thanks to the rain and cloud cover. 72 at noon. Storms start to clear out after 5. And then 74 at 8 o'clock under mostly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies for us tonight, 68 at 11, 65 at 2, overnight low of 64 degrees. Now heading into the weekend, looking good. Mostly cloudy Saturday and Sunday, 87 Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Sunday we'll start to see some of those clouds clear out, but then we're going to watch additional rain chances. Noon today, showers and thunderstorms across the area. 5 o'clock, showers and thunderstorms starting to clear out of here, and as we head into tomorrow, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies as we mentioned, but not bad otherwise. We head into Sunday, same situation, some mostly cloudy skies, late day clearing. And we go into Monday, and by Monday evening, there's a chance of an isolated storm or two, but otherwise we'll stay dry through most of the day. We're looking at about a quarter inch of rain in Pittsburgh and nearly an inch in Columbus and Joplin, and then possibly an inch, maybe a pinch more in places like Pineville and and Veneta. And the 7-day forecast shows us those thunderstorm chances on Monday with a high of 92, but they're going to be late day. Tuesday, maybe a few more isolated storms, 90 degrees, and then partly cloudy Wednesday and Thursday, 92 and 86 to wrap up the week ahead. We've got a look at the news you need to know before you head out the door when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A fatal crash claims the life of a Pittsburgh man. Authorities say 21-year-old Caden Anderson was traveling south on 200th Street near Atkinson Municipal Airport when his vehicle left the road, struck a culvert, and overturned. He died at the scene. Investigators believe they know the cause and the cost of the fire that burned the Mary Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Fort Scott this week. Investigators say the fire was sparked by a lightning strike Monday night. Crews from several surrounding departments battled the flames through the early Tuesday morning hours. The historic church was built in 1870. Early estimates show roughly $4 million in damages. Even with the roof a complete loss, the congregation plans to rebuild. Sports betting officially becomes legal in Kansas. 6 sports betting sites are now active in the state, including popular sports books, FanDuel, and DraftKings. Retail sports books at Hollywood Casino in Kansas City and Kansas Star Casino near Wichita are also open now. An official launch for sports betting is set for next Thursday. Well, new Missouri law will ban books containing sexually explicit images from school libraries. It's now a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail or a $2,000 fine for librarians and other educators to give students access to such material. There are exceptions for anatomy, biology, sex education, art, and other images considered educational. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
Friday night football. I know it's raining right now. Got you wondering. We're looking at just cloud interference. 73 at kickoff, 72 at halftime, mostly cloudy. The rain should clear out just before a lot of the games begin, but unfortunately, that's also going to mean we're going to have some wet fields to contend with. And we've got wet roads this morning at 7th and Rangeline as the rain continues to fall. 69 degrees as we get the day underway. And we're looking at good temperatures across the area, though. 67 Yates Center, 69 Fredonia and Independence, 70 in Parsons, 69 Columbus, and 70 in Miami. Kids should be boarding the bus any minute now, and as they do, 69 with those scattered showers and thunderstorms. And when the bus brings them back, we're not warming up a lot. 73 with more scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we go through our day today, afternoon high of 79, mostly for our friends in southeast Kansas, not seeing much rain. Everybody else is probably going to top out about 75. Scattered showers and thunderstorms hold on through the early evening, clear out again just before football games. Partly cloudy or mostly cloudy at 8 with 74. As we go through the night, overnight low of 64 under partly cloudy skies, and a quick check of the weekend shows us 87 Saturday, 90 on Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy skies, but rain chances are pretty minimal as we head into the Labor Day weekend.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making homemade crab ravioli in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Interesting. And of course, your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. They're talking about why threats against the FBI are increasing and what it means for the law enforcement agency going forward.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, our own Shannon Becker joins us live in the studio again to give us his big 3 news stories of the week.
One of them I managed to get to him.
What a story it was.
Yes, indeed. What a story. And what a place. Plus, the insect invasion continues as a news anchor on live TV as a fly into her mouth. We'll see what the buzz is all about. But that's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we're going to do it all again today at noon.